Muskoka's first COVID-19 case confirmed. Your trash is still getting collected, but take extra precautions, says the district. And finding the good during the bad in this pandemic. All that and more coming up right now. Welcome to Cogeco News. We are live at 5. I'm James Bowler with what's happening in your community. Well, our top story, the local health unit is reporting on the first case of someone from Muskoka testing positive for COVID-19.
Now is a critical point in our history in acting on this pandemic, putting into place in our lives all of these practices so that we can avoid having a great surge of cases in our community, and so that we can flatten the curve, as they say, so that we don't end up with so many cases in our community that it exceeds our ability to respond as a healthcare system. If you look at our case listing on our website, yesterday it took us down to 12, the first 12 cases on the listing. There were 2 more that I wasn't able to speak to that day, and you'll note that they're both males in their 40s, one of whom is recovering with self-isolation, the other one is hospitalized. Beyond that, we've got a woman in her 50s and a male in his 50s, both in self-isolation, another woman in her 30s who's in self-isolation, a male in his 50s in self-isolation. The woman in her 30s had been traveling, and the male in his 50s in his 20s was a close contact. We have other travelers on that list as well, traveling from Austria. We've got a female in her 30s who's under investigation and hospitalized, and a male in his 60s who's under self-isolation who had returned traveling from Austria. We've, in all of these, noted that they live or are staying in Simcoe County, one of the municipalities in Simcoe County, and by that we mean it could be Barrie or Orillia as well. The case that you don't have listed here is an individual who's under investigation right now, and I don't have details on that case, but I can say that that individual lives in Muskoka. So this is our first laboratory confirmed case of an individual from Muskoka. People should in fact view this as transmitting now in their communities, and that they can't, on encounter with people that they may know or may not know, they cannot really know who's transmitting it, who's not. There are people that can have very mild symptoms or even no symptoms. It's possible to transmit even then. And this really speaks to the importance of people doing this, the physical distancing, the 2-meter distance from others, the hand washing, staying away from crowds, considering very carefully whether they need to go out at all, and certainly abiding by the venue closures and the workplace closures that the government has put in place. And I feel that this is every bit as important in Muskoka as it is in Simcoe County or elsewhere in the province.
Just a note, URTV did ask for more details on this individual and where they were tested, but Dr. Gardner said those details would not be released until tomorrow. Now, effective tonight, travelers to Canada will face a mandatory 14-day quarantine. That from Canada's health minister earlier today. The issue was once again brought up by the Prime Minister this morning during his daily briefing.
It is extremely important that everyone returning to Canada isolate themselves for 14 days. This is a measure that will both keep them safe and prevent further spread of coronavirus through Canada. This is something that we require of every single Canadian coming to this country. We will continue to tell people that. We will continue to highlight that. We will continue to require that of anyone coming into Canada, that they isolate at home for 14 days in order to protect everyone in the country.
And after a marathon session on Parliament Hill last night, the government economic stimulus plan was passed. During his daily briefing, Prime Minister Trudeau said the over $100 billion package will benefit Canadians soon.
If you've lost your job because of COVID-19, whether you're full-time, contract, or self-employed, this new benefit will be there for you. If you're sick or quarantined, looking after someone sick, or at home taking care of your kids, it's there for you. And even if you're still employed but not receiving income because of this crisis, the CERB is there for you. An application portal will launch as quickly as possible, and people should start receiving money within 10 days of applying. I know people are concerned about delays. Families are worried about when they'll get help. It can be hard to get through on the line, and that is frustrating. Public servants are working around the clock while dealing with unprecedented demand and all of the same personal stress everyone else is facing. They will get to your application. Help is on the way. In order to speed things up, we're rapidly deploying workers from different departments to deal with claims. In the last 10 days, we've boosted the team by close to 13,000 people to take your calls, process your claims, and get you the support you need. And since last Monday, we've already processed 143,000 employment insurance claims. That means more money will go directly to people right across the country. We're working to get you the support you need when you need it. And if you're doing okay, there's a way you can help someone else, as an employer, a landlord, or even just a friend, so you can be part of the solution. It can make all the difference, because it's by working together that we'll get through this.
We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Joining me from her office over video conferencing is Quinn Michelle with the District of Muskoka. And thank you very much, Quinn, for taking the time today.
Thank you, James.
We're going to be talking about some of the changes that are temporarily coming to the waste management in Muskoka. So Quinn, tell me, first of all, what specific changes are being put in place to help protect the workers at this point?
So firstly, James, I guess what I want to say is I want to recognize the efforts of our waste management team, our crews, our collectors, our site staff during this time. Our whole collection system is relying on our people. And because of this, we're having to make some changes. We haven't made any changes to curbside collection schedules. Everything remains the same. But we're asking for residents to just start thinking about ways to package their material differently when they're putting it at the curb. So right now, for garbage, we're asking for black bags to be used as always. This isn't anything new, but we need to make sure that there's extra diligence in making sure that these bags are sealed and shut. So tie them tight, make sure that they're nice and sealed. This isn't anything new, but if you have garbage cans, we're asking you to use them. If you don't have garbage cans, you don't need to rush out and purchase any, just use them if you've got them. So again, just some extra containment. For recycling, continue to sort. Nothing has changed on the sorting front, containers and paper products. This is also a great time to involve your kids in this process, since people are at home and have some extra time. We have some sorting guides on our website. You can use our waste wizard if you have any questions. And again, our office is here to help you as well if you have questions through this time. For recycling, if you have clear or transparent bags at home, we're asking that you use them. Again, we want that material secure. We want it tied shut when it's leaving your house. If you don't have clear bags, no need to rush out and purchase them. Use your blue boxes, but just be diligent in stacking your blue boxes on top of each other. We want to make sure that material isn't flying out all over the curb. We want you to pack those bins tight and just make sure that your material is secure. That's really what we're asking for at this time, is to bag and secure your material.
Quinn, maybe you could tell me too, what other measures is the district taking to ensure that these workers are protected?
So at our waste facility sites, we are practicing physical distancing at our waste facility sites. Our waste facility sites are still open during regular operating hours, with the exception of the Rideout transfer station right now. So we still have 9 that are open. We recommend, of course, this is changing all the time, so go to our website to make sure that the facility hours are still as noted. But we're just taking extra measures at the curb right now. Waste facilities, doing what we can to keep people safe, disinfecting. Again, bags are the main thing at the curb, is what we're asking for. Seal, secure, shut, contain your material. It's really important right now so we can continue this service. Again, no curbside schedules have been changed, and we're just kind of taking this day by day right now. So we're just asking residents to stay updated, follow our social feeds, follow our website, and just pay attention to these changes. They're happening quickly. We can't guarantee that there are going to be no more changes to waste collection. Again, this is changing by the day, but we're making all of these changes to make our staff, our collectors, our waste site staff, keep them safe. That's our priority.
Quinn, I have one last question for you, and it does involve the change. Is the district prepared for a situation where curbside collection might be reduced in terms of times and collection dates?
So I guess for that, James, we're monitoring the situation every day. We're monitoring it every hour. We're monitoring our contractors, and right now, no changes or are foreseen at this time. But again, it can happen. That's why we need everybody to stay updated. We need them to understand these situations and really pay attention to what we're asking. Again, this is for the health and safety and well-being of our community. We know when we put things at the curb, people are walking around on sidewalks right now. We want to make sure that this material is contained and our community stays safe. So again, things may change on the fly. We want you to stay updated. Facebook, Twitter, and our District of Muskoka website. We have a coronavirus page there. All impacts to programs and services are posted there as they happen. So we're asking you every day, just please stay updated to the changes as they can happen day by day.
Thank you once again to Quinn Michelle. We are going to take another break, and we'll be right back after this. Well, amid the stress and fear of COVID-19 and being stuck inside, some people in the community are finding positive ways of dealing with self-isolation. Our own Scott Ecken is standing by with that story.
Thanks, James. Joining me now from her home is local artist Helena Renwick. And Helena, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, Scott. All things considered.
And we've been following you on Facebook the last few days and Instagram as well. This can't keep a good artist down. What have you been up to?
No, okay, so I've been home for over a year now, and I've been painting at home. So for me, it hasn't been a huge shift to be at home and to do something that I love to do. I just feel like now I have a bit of an audience, which is kind of nice, but obviously very strange times for us, for everyone.
Tell me about some of the work you've been doing.
Well, I'll show you actually one that I've just finished. It's sort of here in my living room. Let me just flip this around and I'll show you. This has been on a couple of times, but I don't do a lot of landscape. So this was really new for me to do something as large as this. And I've put it here in my sort of front room. So I've got lots of light. And this is a smaller one that I just did. But I've just been doing like some small things. Just the other day I did this lovely cow. And I seemed to got, a lot of people were commenting on it as well. So I did a horse, and now I'm starting to do some like different people and posting them online. So I'm getting some really great feedback. Actually, it's been wonderful.
So being being at home like this, does the inspiration change a little bit now in light of the situation out there?
A little bit. I think I was mentioning to you earlier, Scott, that I think. The fact that artists have always been a lot of artists are very, they spend a lot of time by themselves because they create alone. But now that everyone is at home and they're looking to artists to see what they're doing. I mean, musicians are performing at home, artists are creating. So the inspiration comes from the fact that there are people at home that maybe they have nothing to do, or they want to see something new, or they still want to be entertained in a sense. So I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's an awful situation, and I feel for so many people, but I think it kind of shows where artists have always been creating, and we're still doing what we've always done. And it's nice that other people are taking notice.
I would say absolutely. The arts community is bringing people together.
I think it is. And I mean, I'm a huge Jim Cuddy fan. He was on the other day with his two sons. And I mean, these are artists that are sitting in their basements and just doing what they do. Keith Urban was on, and I've got all three of my kids home right now, and they're doing their thing. But yeah, it's Scott, I can't. It's such an odd time, and my heart goes out to anyone that's affected by this. And thank goodness, for our frontline workers. I mean, the people that are out there doing what they have to do in the hospitals, and the people that are working in the grocery store. So I'm lucky in a sense that this is what I've been doing for the last year, and I can share a little bit more of it with people that are at home. But maybe when this is all over, we go back and we go to our restaurants and we still support the arts. Artists are so important when it comes to this sort of thing, I think.
Absolutely.
But that's just me.
Well said, Helena. Listen, keep doing what you're doing. Your work is amazing. Please keep sharing. We all love it. So please keep doing that and stay well.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And thank you you guys for what you're doing. I mean, the radios, the television, you guys are still reporting all the news. And thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job.
All the best to you and your family, Helena. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, James, Helena Renwick, local artist doing great things in our community. We'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Scott. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Well, it's hard to get moving when you're stuck inside, but one local resident is hoping to help change that, and all you need is an internet connection.
I think everyone's doing a great job. I'm hearing amazing stories from lots of you that have messaged me privately just to say, you know what, I got a couple squats in, I got a couple of lunges in. I gave my body a chance to sleep, right? We know that those 3 foundations to a wonderful immune system are lots of hydration, lots of great sleep, and healthy poop. I've been in this industry for almost 25 years, and the one thing that I've seen with a lot of my clients and people that come out to my classes is that joy of movement and that resilience. I think, a high five to everyone out there that is trying to make do with being, some people feel like they're trapped at home, isolated at home. And as much as, I'm in this industry to make a living, it's easier to give. And right now, 20-minute video once a day, just encouraging people with some base moves, give them a little bit of humor about kind of my experience with being inside my home and trying to make do with what I have. I get it. I understand. So why wouldn't you give back to this great community? Woohoo! T-Pain! Okay? But we all know the stuff is gold right now, right? So if you've been hoarding it or you go to Costco, I know you've got enough. So you could certainly do, and I just want to make sure that you can see this okay, right? Is you can do wonderful things. I'll face you. You can do wonderful things like coming into a plank, right? And putting it to the side. I've got over 70 certifications in land and water and dance and yoga. So I'm drawing from that. I think where every exercise move that you have, every dance move, every warm up, every cardio, every resistance band, whatever workout you're doing, there should always be a way to progress that, and there should always be a way to regress that. So every exercise I do, there's going to be a couple different ways to do it. And I'm a firm believer in inclusiveness. It's kind of one of the trademarks that I represent, not only with me as a trainer, but with the business that I'm bringing in to Muskoka this spring called Strong Fit Muskoka. It's about accessibility, inclusiveness, and ability. Everyone is capable of something. So whether it's a toe tap, whether it's being able to stand up and jump around, or whether it's be able to move from side to side, whether it's being able to move while holding a mobility device, everyone has the right to move, and everyone needs to move. Everybody, even if it's just a finger. And to all my peeps out there that, this is a very weird and unsettling time. So have that faith, and whoever you believe in, that's fine. If you don't believe in anything, that's fine too. But it's all about having faith in yourself, having faith in your body, in your mind.
We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, and here's a recap of today's headlines. Locally, the first contamination of a person from Muskoka with COVID-19 has been announced by our local health unit. More details should be released tomorrow. There's still no confirmed cases reported in Parry Sound yet. The feds have announced anyone returning to the country will now be expected to be under mandatory quarantine for 14 days, starting at midnight tonight. As well, the bailout package over worth $80 billion was approved in overnight Parliament. And your waste pickup schedule isn't changing yet, but you are being asked to make sure garbage bags are tightly closed. If possible, put recycling in bags as well. We will continue to have more local updates on both Cogeco News and on Your TV's Muskoka's social media network. As well, we'll continue to stream Cogeco News live on yourtv.tv for free, so anyone with an internet connection in Muskoka can stay up to date on the local COVID-19 situation. That's Cogeco News. For more information on the program, head over to yourtv.tv or connect with us on social media. And from everyone here at Cogeco News, thanks for watching. Have a good night.